Last Looks crew, I'm Gabbi, a film student and hair and makeup trainee. I'll be guest hosting this bonus episode where we'll be talking with hair and makeup trainee Michelle Hardwick. We'll be diving into our top tips and tricks for fellow trainees and others starting out in the industry, a different perspective of the department. When looking for someone to speak to today, I made an Instagram call out. I received a few interested people, but Michelle's email stood out with her eagerness on the subject and excitement to chat about it. In the creative industries, one of the biggest questions we're always faced with is, how do I get in? And this is what I aim to start answering in this episode by talking with a fellow newbie on how we've both started to overcome these challenges. If you love the podcast and you'd like to show some support, you can buy us a coffee. You'll find the link to do that in the show notes of the episode. My name is Gabbi, and I'm a guest host on the Last Looks podcast, a show where we catch up with hairstylists and makeup artists working in the film and TV industries around the world. And today on this bonus episode, we're chatting with hair and makeup trainee Michelle Hardwick.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
John Blake's Wigs and Facial Hair has been providing the highest quality wigs and facial hair to the film, television, and live theater industries for 15 years. Our human hair wigs are low density and hand-tied on Swiss lace to give the most realistic and natural appearance that is undetectable in HD and 4K content. This small, family-owned company has grown to fill a vital role to artists across the globe. We provide an unparalleled customer service experience that is rare in today's retail market. Our facial hair pieces come in 17 different styles and colors that are designed to precisely mimic natural growth and coloring patterns. They are made from blending human and yak hair in order to create the most realistic texture and appearance of men's facial hair growth. We are grateful to be celebrating 15 years of being an industry leader and a vital part of your artistry.
And now, our feature presentation.
Pictures up.
Last looks. Rolling.
And action.
Welcome to the Last Looks podcast, Michelle.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I loved your email you sent me from the Instagram call out.
Yeah.
When I was trying to find someone to join me for the episode, and it really showed your passion for the subject. So I'm very excited to chat to you today.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yeah. So can you kind of start off by telling me about you and how you kind of started out as a trainee? Did you do any formal training? How did you start out?
Yeah. So I guess this sort of idea of being a hair and makeup artist in TV probably started for me when I was just coming out of secondary school or high school, whatever you want to call it. And I was in college and I was just kind of oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. Found this school, which was in Stockton-on-Tees, which is North England. And I went there for 2 years, got my BTEC, then went to uni and did a similar sort of thing. It was fashion and theatrical media, hair and makeup. Mm-hmm. Did that at uni. The perks of going to uni and doing a course for me was obviously I was raised Northeast and there's not loads of stuff going on, arguably a lot less stuff than London or Manchester.
Yeah.
So I was, okay, this is a way for me to sort of find connections and find like-minded people and the equipment that we would use at uni and everything. I wouldn't have access to that at home. I would be heating up clay in my mum's microwave. So obviously I wanted to find something that was a bit better. And then went to uni for a while. COVID also hit right at the beginning of uni and was pretty much all the way through. And then after that, I was just sort of finished uni, did my own thing for a bit, just sort of making money, worked at a student letting agent, and that was a time. That was a fun time, I guess. And I was just sort of building up things from then. And from there, that's when I kind of started getting more work and offering my time for free and things like that.
Yeah, cool. Very different to kind of I think I'm halfway through your journey because I'm at uni at the minute studying film production.
Nice. Are you enjoying it?
I am, yeah. And then I'm hoping to, after the course, do a formal training once I can raise the funds.
What have you looked into doing?
Well, there's the CBMA course, Christine Blundell Academy.
Yeah, that looks gorgeous, to be honest. I keep seeing that on my Instagram. I'm hell yeah.
Gorgeous, yeah. And the one that I would love to go to is the Ivor Academy.
Yeah.
But obviously it's getting the funds.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell me a bit about your first time on set? Like, what did you kind of learn from that experience?
Yeah, so it was a student film when I was at uni, and it was like the film students, and this guy had this idea to do this film, and it was like the same time when, you know, Billie Eilish's music video, like with the black tears, she drinks the drink and the black tears, that was kind of like on the mood board, and me and my friend were like, yeah, we'll do that. We can do that, no problem. We were so naive to like the whole process and you know how it was going to go, but it was really fun. We were all students. We were only like between like 19, 20 sort of age group. None of us really knew what we were doing, but we all pretended like we knew what we were doing. But it was really fun, and we all just sort of like got through it, you know?
Yeah. My first time on set was also a student film.
What was it about?
It was a very interesting film. It was shot on film, like 16mm film.
Oh, wow, stunning.
Yeah, and
I've never seen like an actual project filmed that way before.
Yeah, because the school, London Film School, that's one of their like semesters is they have to shoot a film with a film camera to kind of learn the process. And it was about a boxing lesson, and I had to do a broken nose and blood and sweat.
Nice.
And kind of like redness on the main actors. And after I'd done everyone's makeup, because it was a very stylistic thing, like 90s kind of. So I had to do all the extras as well. They were like, oh, by the way, can you also do 7 extras makeup alongside the special effects? And I was like, sure. And then before they were about to begin shooting, they were like, so we've run out of extras. Do you mind kind of stepping in as an extra?
Gosh.
I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typical. You're like, yeah, okay. I just did like 5 hours worth of work, but I'll do it. Yeah.
All right. So, and in the actual final film, I'm in so many shots. It's hilarious. I watch it. I'm like, I was just the makeup artist. Why am I in almost every shot of this film?
Just shows how good you are. You're a multi-talented queen, you know.
I am. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I was doing A-level drama at the time, so I was like, I got this down, guys.
Yeah. No, they saw you come in. They were like, hell yeah, Gabbi's got this.
Yeah. And what's funny is I've worked with them a couple of times since that. They keep calling me back, which is, I guess, the point of doing those silly little student films is you make those connections.
Definitely. I think like
for future jobs.
Yeah, definitely. From doing that student film, I remember being like, okay, it's just like organization. I realized I was like, I really need to like get organized, because obviously it was quite an ambitious makeup that we were trying to take on.
Yeah,
there wasn't many characters like what you had. Like there wasn't many. It was literally just like two characters in the entire thing. But it was just like the scale of the makeup, and we hadn't necessarily practiced it beforehand. We just kind of were like, yeah, it'll be fine on the day.
Yeah, we got this. Yeah. Well, speaking of jobs, do you find it easy to kind of get jobs as a trainee? Or
I would say no. Like, especially when I came out of uni. Oh my God, I put a lot of pressure on myself as well when I came out of uni. I was like, while I was still finishing like my dissertation and stuff, I was, oh my God, I need to find a job, because I cannot go and work like a restaurant job. I need to just like go straight into industry. And that was kind of, not that anybody else was telling me to do that. I just really wanted to do that. And I was putting so much pressure on myself to make sure that happened. But yeah, I was just kind of reaching out to people, emailing people, sending my CV. To be honest, things didn't really fully sort of start happening for me until I joined Screen Skills.
Yeah.
And I got on the Trainee Finder program. And that was like a really, really good thing for me to get on. It wasn't like where my first jobs came from or anything like that. I was just kind of reaching out to people. I'll come and work for you for free. Please just like let me on set so I can get people's emails and stuff. The first professional one I think I worked on was All Creatures Great and Small, and I was in the crowd room for that. I was absolutely terrified, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, it's very daunting going on to your first kind of professional set. because I was really lucky that I got that opportunity, no training whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually the week after I did that student film. Nadia Stacey had put something on her Instagram saying, I need a trainee for this date. Email here. So I sent an email expecting nothing. I sent this really like shitty little PowerPoint I made with pictures of the makeup I'd done for my A-level and from that short film actually. And they were like, can you come in on Saturday? I was like, yeah, I can come in on Saturday. Had to get a COVID test and everything because I was still during like COVID times.
Yeah.
And then I got to go on set as well, which is insane. And I was in the main department on the bus. I didn't really do much other than, you know, tea and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just so cool getting to see this large scale kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Going from student film one week and then Disney film the
That's
next.
amazing.
Yeah, that is still the only kind of professional trainee job I've done. So yeah, I feel a bit iffy about saying I'm a trainee because I've only really done it once, but
yeah,
I am in training, so
yeah. No, I get that. I feel even I'm like I've done one main team job, but even because I've done one main team job, and there's other trainees who have been trainees for like two years because they want to be really, really good trainees before they move on to the next thing, you know. So it's like there is different levels of trainees, but I guess there's different levels of every part of our department, you know?
Yeah, the ladder, it's nice that we have that ladder because I know not all of the film industry has that. I think it's a very British thing, the trainee, junior, artist, supervisor, designer kind of, you know, so...
I like that we've got that. I feel like it's...
a good progression.
Yeah, it's clear on even just sort of, I don't know, I feel like in a lot of productions you can be like, oh, as the trainee, obviously everyone's above you, but you can be like, oh, I can always, you can turn to anyone in your team for help, but you know, okay, this person's like the designer, like they probably is going to have maybe a little bit less time and the brain's going to be like full of like a million tasks, so like I can go to my supervisor, you know?
Yeah, knowing who to go to when you have a question and not asking too many questions.
Yeah, not asking too many questions, asking enough questions at the right time, all of that stuff. It's such a minefield, isn't it?
It's just, you got to know what to do because it's so crazy when you're on these big productions.
What was that like? How many people were you? Because I've never been on a huge production before. I've been on probably small, I don't want to say small, but even, I don't know. I don't feel like I have a scale. So like, yeah, what was the Disney project like?
It was just surreal, I guess. Like, got the call sheet and you just see these big actors' names on it and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna walk past their trailer and like see their stations and stuff. And I didn't know like where I was going. I'd never been to a studio before. I arrived like 20 minutes early, so I was just waiting outside the bus. And then my supervisor arrived and she was like, you must be Gabbi, our saviour. Everyone's sick with COVID. And it was a crowd day, so the crowd room was busy. I went to the crowd room first because I was like, I'm just a trainee, I'm going to the crowd room. And they're like, oh no, you're in main base. I was like, what? What do you mean I'm in main base? And I went there and it was busy. They were like really short-staffed because COVID was going around the makeup department. So I kind of just got thrown in and they were like, this other trainee is going to tell you where everything is and what to do. Go get breakfast. And I was like, okay. And I went to go get everyone's breakfast order. And then
breakfast is stressful as well.
Yeah.
Breakfast stresses me out. If I don't get this lady's egg and avocado, the world will end, you know?
Yeah, they're such specific orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did mess up someone's lunch order. That was on me. I mean, they said chicken, and I was like, okay, they want chicken. So I told the lunch lady, I was like, one of the orders is chicken. She was like, do you want the chicken meal, or do you just want like a chicken breast. I was like, I don't really know. Can I get a chicken breast? So I just had
Give me both of them. Give me all of them.
I should have asked for both. Now I know. Next time, ask for both. But I just handed this poor woman a boiled chicken breast. She was like,
Oh my God,
what is
so
this?
funny.
She was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, sorry.
Like, is that not what you asked for?
Yeah, I was like, you asked for chicken. But yeah, sometimes you have to read through the lines and be like, chicken, she wants the chicken meal, not a boiled chicken breast.
Yeah. The fear and dread thought. Sometimes at the beginning you're just like, oh my God, and you don't want to ask a question which to everybody else. Like, even when it comes to lunch, you're like, oh yeah, she wants the chicken. And then the caterers are staring back at you like, there's 5 options of chicken, girl. Like, which chicken do you want? It's such small things like throughout your day where it's like, you don't want to ask a silly question, but then at the same time it's like, I've got to ask, otherwise I'm going to look even stupider.
There are no dumb questions though. So yeah, it might feel like it, but if you need to ask it, I think you should.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was a day.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and we had to get minibuses to set because it was on a back lot. So at one point I was waiting for this guy to finish a conversation so I could ask him to take me to set. And he was like, next time, don't do that. Just interrupt me. I was like, I didn't really know what to do. So I was just kind of standing there like, can you finish talking to this other minibus driver? I need to get to set. And he was like, please, interrupt me.
I remember I was working on A Gentleman in Moscow, and I was working as a daily, and I think I was only there for one day, and I was in the lunch queue, and there was somebody wearing like a Hugo Boss t-shirt behind me. I'm almost certain it was just the drivers trying to like have my life and just like, you know, just joke or whatever. But there was somebody stood behind me and they were like, I need to go in front of you. I'm the producer. And I was like, I don't think. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, nah, that was definite. It must have been a joke. And like the driver was, yeah, he's the boss, like pointing at his shirt, like Hugo Boss. You know what I mean? So I'm like, but then at the time I was like, oh my God, that's the producer. That's the producer. Yeah, I've got to let them go first.
Yeah.
But it didn't take me until like a little bit afterwards to realise like, obviously that was a joke, Michelle. God.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of talk a bit about your kit, because I know when I did my first job, I had no idea what to bring. They were like, just bring a set bag. I was like, what's a set bag? Like, what do I put in that? Do you have any like set bag kit essentials that you would bring for like anything?
Yeah. So obviously, I feel like the obviouses that we're going to mention: makeup brushes, hair brushes, and then like anti-shine. I don't know if that might be more obvious to some people than others, but I don't know. For me, anti-shine is just like, you really need anti-shine. You really need powder, blotting papers.
Yeah.
Get yourself a little tail comb if you don't already have a tail comb. I was working on, it's like a kids show, and I found that kids obviously have really sensitive heads. And it's like a small thing that I found this brush that was the brushes that are kind of on a spiral, so they move. If I sort of press against the head, it's not going to kill the head. But it's also like a really good brush to have for curly hair as well. So I feel like that spiral brush, anti-shine, sort of basic beauty products in your kit. But then again, it's like, it really depends what you're going on to.
Yeah.
But then I was also thinking, there's been a lot of times in the beginning, I bet like when you rocked up to set and you're like, oh my God, what do I bring? I don't have the stuff that I need in my kit bag. You still make do.
Yeah.
You still always find a way of, you know, like, oh, I haven't got this, but I've got this. Like, I was on a Facebook group last night and someone was like, oh, I've just spilt the last of my IPA. What can I use? And someone was like, hand sanitizer.
Yeah, not with your alcohol paints though. That'll ruin them. But yeah, that is a good alternative. I think, like you say, it depends job to job what you really need. And I found on the day I worked, I didn't need my kit at all.
Yeah.
I brought this whole bag and didn't touch it once. Mm-hmm. But obviously it will depend on, like, if you're on a long-term project, you're definitely going to need a kit.
Yeah, definitely.
But sometimes, like that time, I just didn't. It's
Yeah,
just,
I know what you mean. It really just depends on, like, I guess, yeah, the scale of the set, the scale
Yeah.
of the production. But then again, I've worked on productions where they've just turned to me and been like, have you got a water spray bottle? And my set bag is like packed out. I want to have absolutely everything in there.
yeah.
So that I can be like, yes, I do have this spray bottle.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me being like, please like me. But I think it's good to have everything. Like, I've literally got like a nail clipper thing in there. I've got a little hand fan and like all of the small things. I have a Sharpie because somebody always needs a Sharpie.
One thing I always have is tape, like masking tape.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because for student films especially, they're going to turn and be like, oh, does anyone have tape? We need to set a mark. And they're like, oh, where's the tape? Where's the tape? And I'm like, here you go. I've got the tape.
I got the tape.
Yeah. And I also keep a whiteboard pen.
Yeah.
But that's more for student films because they always forget it for doing the clapperboard. Yeah. And also, I guess, asking the supervisor, because that's what I did. I was like, I'm really sorry. I don't know what should I bring. And she gave me a kind of a list.
Yeah.
And that's how I built my little bag, and it's growing as it progresses. So
yeah, it's really fun when you're in the crowd room and you get to like have a snoop and sort of like see what other people are using, even other people's like setups. When I was working on a different production, it was like somebody had brought, you know, those little plastic drawers. So they had little plastic drawers on the setup with like all of the little bits in it. It was so gorgeous and organised.
Yeah.
It's lovely to see other people's. But then even things like the makeup mat, those little silicone mats, they are obviously very handy to have, but it's easy as a trainee to look at your setup and be like, oh, mine's crap compared to everybody else's.
Yeah.
But obviously it's one of those things, like, it comes with time.
Yeah, you can't straight in go out and buy everything because that's going to be so much. It's a progression. You'll build it over time.
I get so impatient with stuff like that. I literally want all of it all in one go.
Yeah. So I'll be searching Pam and be like, yes, add to my basket. Oh, that's £400. No, maybe not. We're kind of talking about times when we have been working, but how do you deal with times when you're not working?
Yeah. So most recently, I just finished a job in Manchester and everyone was kind of, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, are you going on to another project? And I haven't been in the situation where other people are like, yeah, I've got like this lined up. But that can be kind of nerve-wracking when a bunch of other people have got jobs and maybe you haven't. You're like, oh my God, am I not good? But I think in this case, nobody else really had anything lined up. And this was my first main team job and I was absolutely knackered after that job. I was like, this was like a lot for my first time. And I was like, yeah, I can comfortably take a little break for a bit. Obviously, look at your finances and see like if you're able to do that. I was really gratefully like able to. So I took a little break, and before working on that job, I'd been attending a barbering course, and I knew that I needed to complete it, obviously, to like be more employable and all of that stuff, you know. So after we finished the job, I went straight back into doing barbering. I just trained for like as long as I could, basically. I was finding student projects to work on, doing my own stuff. I feel like in my own time, I really enjoy doing like editorial stuff as well. And like, but mixing that with special effects and making it a bit creepy. That's what I really enjoy doing. So I was really able to dedicate more time to that, really beef out your portfolio so you can send that to people, you know?
Yeah, I do the same because it's a bit difficult because I'm at uni still, so that's why I haven't really done any professional jobs, because at uni I'm kind of working at uni because everyone's like, Gabbi, you do makeup, can you do the makeup for my film? I'm like, yes I can, for a price.
That's so good.
Yeah, but over the summer, because we have a really long summer holiday at uni, it's from mid-May to October.
Yeah.
Which is insane. So over the summer I do some projects, like last year summer I did 2 more student films with London Film School, and then I did an independent film, I guess, short film, which was quite exciting. I was in the wardrobe department for that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, steaming the old costumes. I'm a jack of all trades.
You've got to be, though. I feel like Obviously, I can only speak to makeup, like hair and makeup, but I feel like we always get roped in a million other things.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like that line, when does makeup become costume or when costume become makeup? You know? Or like, when does costume become props? And
oh my God, that's so true. I didn't even think about that, like accessories and stuff like that. It's like, well, technically it's a prop. I'm like, is it though? But fair. It can be whatever you want it to be.
It's like, who controls what? Oh, I don't know if there's a crown. I feel like that would be like hair, makeup department, a crown.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe it's a collaboration, you know. It's all fluid.
and that's like so important in the industry is collaboration, you know, working together.
Yeah,
stuff.
I think it's silly being like, oh, this is just costume or just makeup. It's all of us. We're all working towards realizing a vision.
Exactly. A thing that I think a lot of people have to deal with in the industry, especially when you're just starting out, is like this feeling of imposter syndrome.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here, or I don't know anything. Like, how do you kind of deal with that?
Not very well. Like, my first main team job, I literally was there for prep week, and obviously prep week is like, you just organising things, you preparing for the next however long. You're getting bags ready, you're getting folders ready, doing all of that stuff. Obviously, I'd never done a prep week before. I had no idea. I'd usually worked as like a daily before. So it was like everything had already been established. But I was there from the beginning, and I was like, oh my God, it's pretty quiet. And I have no idea what I'm doing. And these people are going to turn around and realise we don't actually need you. You can go home. And I was so scared of that. I was so scared of people being, oh, she actually has no clue what she's doing. Get out, you know?
Yeah.
But I think I don't even know I couldn't even tell somebody how to prepare for it, because I genuinely feel like you just have to experience it, and you just have to realise, oh my God, the world isn't going to end. It's fine. I think even for the first 2 weeks of filming, I didn't sleep, but I didn't realise that I wasn't sleeping. It's very much just sort of like your body's like panic mode.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you've just got to snap out of it. Just get used to it. Just do it. Exposure therapy, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. I definitely had that when I did Snow White, because I was like, I know nothing. I have no training. I was still doing my A-levels. Like, the day before, I think I did my geography A-level exam. I was like, I should not be on this set right now. I'm not qualified to be here. And for weeks afterwards, I would like be replaying everything I'd said and done and be like, I've done everything wrong. It's all gone. It's all bad. But at a certain point, I was like, you didn't know what was right. And that's okay, because trainees, we're learning. It's in the name, trainee. You're training. It's okay to make mistakes sometimes. I mean, we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning.
Exactly. And you just got to sometimes talk to yourself and be like, stop it. You're being silly now.
Completely.
Snap out of it, okay? The world doesn't revolve around you. There's other people as well, you know?
Yeah.
People don't sit up at night thinking about it. That's just you.
No, it's so true. Yeah, realising, I don't know, people aren't stressing about it as much as you, exactly what you said. And just knowing as well, like, if everyone... I didn't realise, like, everyone is stressed, you know? Obviously, I was like, first time, panicking. It's other people on that production as well. They are stressed. Like, they've done this before, but that doesn't mean it's any less stressful for them, you know?
Yeah.
I think I realising that and being like, oh, if someone's having a bit of a bad day, it's not personal. We're all just stressed, you know?
Yeah, and I think everyone gets imposter syndrome at some point.
Definitely.
You could be the most successful person, and I think you'll still have that little bit of something in your brain telling you, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Why are you there?
Yeah, completely. I don't know if you're a RuPaul's Drag Race fan, but RuPaul says it's your inner saboteur, and you just have to be like, No, thank you.
Yeah, it's a good piece of advice. Thank you, RuPaul.
Thanks, RuPaul.
Now, if you could tell past you anything before, like, your first day, what would you say?
Calm down, probably is. Calm down. Stop stressing. I think I went into that room twitching. I was so nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'd say the same, to be honest.
Yeah. What was it like? Do you remember the night before?
Oh.
Your first gig?
It was awful. I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I had to wake up at 4 to be there at like 5 or something.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't sleep. And disaster. I had an allergic reaction the night before.
Oh my God.
And my face was all swollen, like my lips. I looked like a completely different person. I remember at one point I woke up about 3 a.m. and I looked in the mirror and like my face didn't look like my own.
Oh God.
And I was like, I'm going to just deal with this in the morning. And I just rocked up. Luckily I was wearing a mask. And I was like, I hope that nobody sees that I'm currently having
That's one
reaction.
of the good things about COVID is the masks.
Yeah. Yeah. I miss them. Sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think calm down is a good piece of advice. Although I feel like past me would have been like, how dare you? How dare you tell me to calm down?
Like, shut up! I'm trying.
Yeah, how very dare you tell me to calm down?
Yeah, I feel that's literally like it's not amazing advice. I feel it is just one of those things where it's like you've just got to do it, and once you're there, it'll be fine. But like, it's really normal to like panic and just sort of be like, oh my god. I think like if you're not panicking, like, it would be weird, you know. But you've got to remember,
it means
like,
you care.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it means you care, and your body can't regulate between, what is it, like stress and excitement or something? Like, it thinks it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So you've just got to be like, I'm excited.
Feeling. Yeah. You got to just gaslight your brain into thinking that you're excited.
Exactly. That's the best bit of advice. Gaslight yourself.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you take one thing away from this podcast today, you must gaslight yourself.
Yourself, not others.
Yeah. No, nobody else. Just yourself.
No one
just
else.
Delusional yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Fake it, you make it.
Exactly.
That's what I did. I was like, I don't know anything, but I'm going to pretend I know everything.
Exactly. Because everybody else, if they're like, oh, wow, she looks like she really knows what she's doing, you're there with like your marker pen, like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. Because it's okay to panic, but you need to still be professional and cool, calm, and collected on the outside. Internally, you can be like your little emotions running around. You're like, ah, but outside you're like, hi there. Would you like a cup of tea?
Yeah. That's so true. You just gotta do it. You just gotta trick yourself.
Yeah. And do you have a piece of advice that you've ever been given by someone?
Basically, someone recently was saying, like, don't worry away your early 20s, which is more of a life advice. But then again, I feel like at the same time, if you're a trainee, I know not every trainee is going to be sort of in their 20s. Some trainees are going to be like 30s, 40s, like whatever, you know. But generally, I think try not to worry so much is good advice. But then again, also, when you have downtime, when you have a break, take a break and stop. Don't let your brain run into like, you need to actually give yourself a break. And it's good when you have these spaces in between work and you're not working, don't be like, oh my God, I don't have a job, which obviously is easier said than done. But, you know, I feel like you've got to just be like, we're all still humans at the end of the day, and we deserve a little bit of downtime, because obviously when you're working on set, all systems go like 12 hour plus days.
Yeah, it's just like a constant cycle. Wake up, go to work, go to sleep, wake up, go to work.
Yeah. I was fated and was my designer on Odd Squad, which is my first main team, and she would always joke, we'd be like just finishing up for the day, and she'd be like, okay, great, I'll see you in like 5 minutes in the morning. But it literally felt like that. We'd get done and be like, oh, hi.
Yeah, it's like, close your eyes. I'm back in the
close
building.
Your eyes, we're back. Yeah.
Yeah. I did a student film over the summer, and the commute was 2 hours on the train because I can't drive yet soon. But I had to wake up 5 a.m., get the train. I arrived at work 8:30. We worked 8:30 till 8:30. Then I got home at 10, had food, and had to go straight to bed because I was like, I have to be up at 5. And it was only 4 days of doing this, but man, I was like, I need to get a car. I can't do this again. And there were train delays as well that happened because of all the train strikes, and I was like, oh, I can't do that again. Yeah. Well, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Did you have a piece of media, sort of like a film, TV show, anything? What was the thing that made you go, okay, I want to be a hair and makeup artist for TV? And it seems like you're a bit more like, am I right in saying like special effects as well? Like, is that your vibe?
Yeah, I don't think of it like that, but it seems like it with what I do.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I didn't really want to, I remember once my gran told me, oh, you should be a makeup artist because you do it all the time. That would be a great job. I was like, nah, I prefer doing it on myself. I don't think I could do it for other people. Well, here I am now. Because it was like more of a hobby to me because I'm originally from South Africa, and I would do like face painting for my brother's birthday parties, and like my friends would come over and we'd put on little plays in the backyard, and I'd always do their makeup for it. It was awful makeup, just like overlined lips and stuff. But so it's always kind of being there, me doing it, and then when I moved to the UK, I would do the makeup for our school musicals and for like GCSE drama things, A-level drama.
I love that.
A-levels is where I kind of was like, oh, this is a job. I could do this as a job, but I was still, I suffer from I can do that syndrome.
I love that.
If someone says something to me, I'll be like, I can do that, you know? And at that point, I wanted to be an archaeologist for some reason. I was like looking at unis already for archaeology and geology as well. I have too many interests. But I don't know how, but I discovered film, and that's what I applied to for uni because you have to apply quite, in advance. So I'd applied to uni. I hadn't been offered a spot yet, but I'd applied and they did an interview and everything. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to uni and study film and then I can figure out what I want to do. And I was like, makeup can just be a hobby. Or actually, I applied for a production design course, specifically in Brighton, but my mom wouldn't let me do it. She's probably going to listen to this.
Hi, Mom.
Mom, why? Why? But she wouldn't let me go to it. She was like, go to this other course and do film production rather than picking a specialty too early. And I was like, oh, okay, I see your point. Fine.
That is good advice.
Yeah, and then I worked on Snow White. Because, as I say, I can do that. I saw the email, I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I did that. And I remember I when I went onto set, they were going for a take. And I like started crying because I was like, oh my God, this is where I want to be, is on set.
I get that. Yeah.
I was like, this is incredible, and I want to experience that like as much as possible. And
I love that. That's it's really special.
Yeah, I went home and I was like, Mom, I'm dropping out of uni and I'm going to a makeup course.
Nice.
Uni doesn't exist anymore. She was like, no, you can't do that. I'm not letting you. We've already paid the deposit on your accommodation.
Oh. They get you with those accommodations. They do. You're locked in for a year.
Yeah, I'd signed the contracts already. So I'm still here. I'm enjoying it.
But you'll learn it's never a waste.
Yeah.
Everything you do will always contribute to later on. I remember, I came out of uni and I wasn't even doing anything to do with like hair and makeup. I was working as a student letting agent I'd take student round houses and be like, yeah, you like this? Great. Sign it for a year, you know? And that it had absolutely nothing to do with hair and makeup. Did it teach me admin skills? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Did it teach me like, you know, time management and all of that stuff? Like, yeah, of course. Like it's all valuable, you know?
Yeah, we kind of learn from everything that we do. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on the Last Looks podcast, Michelle.
Thank you so much.
It's been lovely chatting to you.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we did this.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see where your career progresses, and I hope we get to work with each other one day.
I know, I was literally just thinking like I would absolutely love to work with you. It would be so fun because we've never actually seen each other in person, so it'd be lovely to actually to meet you.
Yeah, well, 2025, that's when I graduate. So,
nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, and excited to see what you do with your future as well. I'm sure it'll be amazing.
Well, thank you.